Hello and welcome to Archvelder's Hacks with Archvelder and his amazing hacks. The following method involves farming a high value, high RNG item with a low sell rate. This method should not be used by anybody seeking consistent gold returns. Now, this is a rather strange video and grew out of something else completely. I've been making a video about Korok's Revenge, and I wanted to assemble some powerful old legacy gear to optimize my DPS for the scaled down content. This item, White Mend Hood, caught my eye, partly because of the gem slots which work very well when scaled down, but also because of the powerful set bonus, one of a small number that Blizzard hasn't nerfed. A 10% intellect bonus is huge. What started as a PvP guide turned into a gold making guide as I realised how valuable this item was. It sells for 80 to 90,000 across all auction house realms, and that I could farm it much faster than anyone else by utilising a secret passage through an old dungeon, as I'll demonstrate. Now, this item only drops from the very last boss of the Botanica. This dungeon is located in Outland in Netherstorm. It's the spaceship on the left of Tempest Keep. Now, we are looking not for the hood itself, but the tailoring pattern that creates it. This only drops from the final boss, Warp Splinter. You will need tailoring on any character that you run through this dungeon with. However, once made, the hood can be sent to any character on that realm. Or alternatively, as we'll be discussing, it can be sold on the auction house. Now, the drop chance for the pattern is only 1%, and the dungeon is, well, dungeon sized. Running through on my main, it was obvious it was going to take too long, so I resolved to try and think of a way to speed up the process. What we're looking for here is some way to skip through the instance. Long-time viewers of the channel will know that the first place to go for that type of information is a guy called Sheekrunner, who meticulously crafts insanely fast runs of dungeons, particularly of legacy content. I know from long experience that if a skip exists, then Sheekrunner will find it. And sure enough, Sheekrunner has a skip for the Botanica. It is in his video on Burning Crusade dungeons, which I'll link to below. Note that you'll have to slow down the speed to 0.25 just to be able to work out what he's doing. Yes, it's that fast. Sheekrunner's method depends on his insane speed. He's moving at over 400% normal speed, which I don't think is even possible anymore. That video, I believe, was shot during Legion. I wanted to design a method everyone could use, so I developed a slightly slower method based on the second half of his video. My method does not require a speed set. It does, however, require a Demon Hunter. If you don't have one, by the way, I would recommend running one through Mardum, the Demon Hunter starting zone. It only takes about 40 minutes, and Demon Hunters are useful for so many different things, not just this. Now, I just run through the first part of the dungeon normally, and then jump over the barrier to this exact point. From here you can walk around the black barrier, and you are now on top of the final area. Use Fell Rush here. There is a gap, you don't want to fall down, it's impossible to get out of it. And now glide to the Warp Splinter, the final boss. Kill and loot him. The whole thing can be done in under a minute with practice. That's about 200% faster than just running through normally. There's a handily placed exit portal right by Warp Splinter. Why is this trick so important? Because, put simply, the price of things on the auction house depends on how hard they are to farm. The more time it takes to farm something, the higher the average price has to be to justify the farmer's time. If you are spending less time than everyone else, which is everyone who has not seen this video, you will get a much better return for your time than anyone else, which means more gold per hour. Now, the more sophisticated players among you will know I'm simplifying an extremely complex subject, but hopefully you get the idea. If you want to farm the pattern for the other part of the set, by the way, that can be found in the Arcatraz. That's the White Men Pants, the second part of the White Men set. Now, the Alcatraz is the spaceship above the other spaceships. Here there are no skips and no exploits that will speed up the process. You just go in and kill the boss, Dahlia, on the second floor. Use Help Unstuck to kill yourself, making sure you have no Hearthstone in your inventory, and res at the start of the instance. Now, do the White Men items sell? Well, the sell rate is not that high, but you don't have to sell many of them to make it worthwhile. On my home realm, Airy Peak, had someone been selling it, then it would have sold because I would have bought it. And the same goes for Outland, where I have a number of alts. Also, presumably the guys I keep seeing in Korak's Revenge, who are also twinking, would probably also be interested. Additionally, the item is going to rock in time-walking dungeons and raids, and probably other things, since Blizzard is rolling out continuous massive expansions of scaling across the game through into Shadowlands and beyond. This is something you'll want to do occasionally as an additional farm to your basic map gathering, raw gold grinds, etc. But as a legacy RNG farm, it's pretty good. People usually ask with this type of video, can I get banned for using this exploit? Now, legacy dungeons are something Blizzard take no interest in at all. Think of it like this, it's like being a member of the royal family. You can get away with literally anything. So there's the video. If you liked it, why not subscribe? And if you are fascinated by this type of farming strategy, I have literally dozens of methods too hot for YouTube on my Patreon channel. Thanks for watching. This has been Archvelder.